Okay, let's talk about servant leadership. You hear that term everywhere, right? But what is it really? Is it just the latest corporate buzzword that's going to fade away, or is it something much more foundational? Let's find out. And look, it's easy to be cynical. I get it. We've all seen these management fads come and go. But what if this one is different? In this explainer, we're going to dig into why servant leadership isn't just surviving, it's actually thriving. So why isn't it just another fad? Well, the first big clue is that this idea isn't new. Not at all. It wasn't cooked up in some boardroom last year. Its roots go back, way, way back. Right. So we're talking about an ancient idea here. This isn't just old. It's a philosophy that's been put to the test for centuries, long before anyone was talking about corporate culture.
I mean, just look at this timeline. Robert Greenleaf, he's the guy who made the term famous back in the 70s. But the actual idea, it was being taught by people like Jesus of Nazareth and talked about by philosophers like Aristotle thousands of years ago. So this isn't some trend. It's an enduring human concept.
And this quote, this is really the heart of the whole thing. It completely flips our idea of power on its head, right? True greatness isn't about being the boss. It's about serving the people you lead. That simple but powerful idea is what gives this philosophy such timeless appeal. Okay, so if the idea is ancient, why the huge explosion in popularity over the last, say, 60 years? What changed? Why was the modern workplace suddenly ready for it? Well, the answer is all about a massive shift in our culture. And here's the kicker, the really surprising part. The revolution wasn't some sudden wave of perfect, selfless leaders appearing out of nowhere. No. The real change was way simpler and honestly a lot more powerful. We just started talking about it. The entire conversation around what a good leader is supposed to be, it just completely changed. Yeah, this quote just nails it. We now live in a world that actually pressures leaders towards service. It's not some obscure idea anymore. It's become the gold standard, the benchmark we measure our managers against. Think about it. It really wasn't that long ago that a bad boss was, well, just a fact of life, right? You just kept your head down, you dealt with it. But now we see poor leadership for what it actually is, a problem. A problem that needs to be fixed. And just having that conversation, just being able to say that out loud, has made our work lives so much better. But let's be real. Ideas alone, even great ones, don't change giant corporations. For this whole philosophy to really stick, it needed more than just good vibes. It needed a powerful, undeniable business case.
Because at the end of the day, in the world of business, what really guarantees survival isn't just a nice philosophy. It's about results. It's about the bottom line. So just how big is the business of serving employees? We're talking multi-trillion dollars, a multi-trillion-dollar business. That's the industry built around things like coaching, wellness, employee engagement. Companies are not spending that kind of money on a whim. They're doing it because it pays off, big time.
And that return on investment, it's undeniable. When you create an environment where people actually feel valued, what happens? You see higher retention, fewer sick days, greater productivity. It's not rocket science. Happy, empowered people do better work. Simple as that.
And this right here, this is the simple truth that boardrooms totally get. This isn't just about culture, it's about cash flow. When your employees feel valued, they create more value for the company. It's this powerful, profitable, virtuous cycle.
So, let's put it all together. You've got this ancient wisdom, right? Then you add a modern cultural demand for it, and you top it off with a rock-solid business case. When you mix all three of those together, the conclusion is pretty inescapable. So many corporate buzzwords are like fireworks. They make a big, bright flash and poof, they're gone. But servant leadership, it's different. Over the last 60 years, it has woven itself into the very fabric of how we think about work. This isn't a flash in the pan. It is absolutely here to stay.
Yeah, it's basically locked in place by three incredibly powerful forces. One, our cultural expectations. It's just what we demand from leaders now. Two, the financial engine. The ROI is proven. And three, the whole industry that's been built to sell and support it. Honestly, it's just become too big and too valuable to fail.
So, okay, it's clear servant leadership is here for good. But this intense focus on the ROI, on the business case, it raises a new, really important question. When serving others becomes a strategy, a tool to boost the bottom line, what happens to the genuine spirit of service? Does it lose its soul along the way?